Hey everybody. I'm sure that people would jump on. It's around the lunch hour. And I'm just taking a little break because I realize, you guys like to see my videos and I like talking to you. And I haven't been on since, I don't even know. I usually even go live from Daughters of the Moon. But when I tell you all that that was the fastest weekend of my life, it always is. I feel out of touch. And, sometimes like I have like 4,000, almost 5,000 Facebook friends now. And I be feeling bad sometimes because there's people here that I've known for years and y'all hit me in my inbox and you'll have different issues and I talk to you and then, I feel like there's one friend and his sunlight's so bright, it's got me looking extra yellow, even though I have closed the curtains in here in the root room. But, that just went by so fast. Thank you for the compliment of my hair. But, okay, it never fails. Somebody I ain't spoke to in a long time, it just tried to call me. So I will have to get back to them when I'm finished with this live. I only wanted to spend a few minutes with you all because I'm really, really busy. It's the beginning of the term for the school system where I work, so I'm doing a lot of fixing and working on courses for the next term. But I'm just said, you know what? Take a lunch break. Take a few minutes to holler at everybody, okay? So we are on a slight delay. We're not like flooded with orders. So we'll be working to get you guys' orders out that came while we were gone, the ones that came right before we left. We got about 6 orders, I think, going out today. But what I wanted to talk to you is about like a theme that I'm seeing, not only with my clients, but with people in general. And I'm going to try to make this quick. I sat today and it's like, I think about like, in order to be a voodoo sant, we have to follow certain rules. There are certain requirements that we have. They're not like Christianity's rules, like you'll go to hell if you don't do them. But, doing these things improves your life. Okay. Connection with our spirits has a positive, thank you on the lipstick. I got this it comes with a liner. This is a matte, but it comes with a liner and a shiny like goldish red gloss for $3.48 at Target. Go figure. But it completely doesn't match my hot pink pants that I have on, but it was what was in my purse. And I'm tired of showing up looking tore down. So back to spirits. I thought about this. I'm like, man, this is even just remembering to tend to your altars on a daily basis and things like that. Sometimes, especially in my life with everything that I have going on, I have to make special attention to remember my spirits. The reason why initiatory practices when dealing with spirits is so very important is because they teach you how to serve them. It's just like me. I don't like liver. If somebody put liver on my plate, whether it was an altar plate or whether it was just a regular human physical plate, I'd be like, you don't know me at all. Why would you give me something like that? And you all have to understand that I was on my 3rd mambo by the time I initiated because none of the other ones I felt like I was getting accurate information from. Now, you have to understand also that different associés and voodoo, I can't speak for the other ATRs, have different ways that they venerate spirit, but we all have the reglement, which are secret rules for working with the spirits and ceremonies and things like that. And those things are only for initiates. What I've also found out with voodoo is when you get initiated, you're not going to know everything. I don't even know if it's possible to learn that in a lifetime. Luckily, I have the only mambo that I know that really takes time and educates us. We're going to be looking at September initiations for September 2019. Our lessons for that group will start, and we have really cool ways of bridging the international gap using technology. Those classes will start in November. Mamba wanted me to announce it. I'm going to ask people who are interested. I know there are a number of people who asked for the video of the webinar, and I got slammed. So I will be going through this weekend and sending links to that webinar to people who are interested in initiating in our house. Of course, that's my candle mold vendor calling me back. I've sat here all day and didn't get a phone call, and now everybody and their mother wants to call me. I should have put my phone on do not disturb. But what I wanted to convey with you is, I spoke to a couple people at the convention that wanted to accomplish certain spiritual things in their lives, and they wanted to know what spirits they could work with. And what I need you all to understand in this world of Amazon 2-day Prime and instant gratification and Instagram and instant everything. And instant isn't always a bad thing. Because I'm going to tell you, the instant in this world that is going to really do you a favor. Now that I've closed all the blinds, now the sun's going down. Y'all, let me open these curtains. You know what? I'm going to sit here for a second because I know as soon as I open these curtains, the sun going to come. Here it comes. See, here it comes again. Clouds rolling through. That's pretty cool, though. Everything cannot come to you instantly. Even if you go through initiation or even a year's worth of study or whatever else like that, it's not going to be an immediate thing where the spirits you're going to know everything about the spirits. But what I can tell you is that the more you are connected with spirit, the more that you are venerating them and acknowledging them in the traditional ways that they like. See, we got a lot of people out here talking about this spirit's calling them and that spirit's calling them. It's always Oshun. It's always Freda. And you got to stop to think about that. And these are love goddesses, but that's not their only role. And it really speaks to me about how some people really want love in their lives, and they really want to love themselves. But what people tend to miss is that there are spirits specifically for you. You're not going to get that information in that pantheon without learning or having a reading for you or initiating, because we don't tell people the spirits of our head in voodoo. We don't publicize that information, nor is that information given to you even sometimes at your first initiation. Because it's dangerous. People want to floss, and maybe you don't know who that person's spirit is in particularly, but they'll always be posting pictures of that spirit. But let's stop to think about that. If you're not, and I'm going to honestly tell you, when you start the initiatory process, your life is about to get very interesting and most likely very difficult. You're being tested. So, and then after you initiate, everything's a test. It's a test for what kind of ancestor you're going to be. So when you go about taking this jump into the spiritual life, you got to understand, I had a story about a woman who started a particular practice, and the spirits made a way for her to initiate and gave her a shiny new job. And then she just dropped it and decided that she was going to, treat herself. But what's going to happen is you're going to see those very same spirits who blessed you take that away. They say in the Bible, I believe it's the Bible. Gosh, I've read so many books these days, I don't know which one it came from. But I believe this is the Bible. To much who are given, much is required. So if you're given gifts of spirit, your responsibility amps up. Okay? So, you say you had a spirit on your lips one day, and that's great. People don't understand if they get a visit from the Baron in their sleep. Well, maybe somebody's going to die. Maybe somebody's going to be healed, but that doesn't mean that is your spirit. People want to work outside of the pantheons with the spirits of said pantheon. Don't hate the player. Don't even hate the game. If you don't want to be part of a tradition, really, that's the only way to have access to those spirits. And even people who want to have access to those spirits may not be right for that tradition, or may be destined to go to another tradition. So you got to remember that. This, I sat up and I thought about, it's like, to me, and that might be my own personal psyche, it's like the more and the longer I do this, the more responsibility there is. There's, always next steps. There are always new things to do and always new responsibilities. So, people that want to take the easy way out, find, I don't know, traditions that are easy, even to be a very, hardcore Christian. It requires a lot of spirituality and self-sacrifice. So you can imagine what the world's oldest religions require of us, not just emotionally, but demonstratively, financially. Just because you pay for your initiation does not mean that you don't owe any types of contributions to the house or Ile or Societe that you belong to. In fact, ours works for Black empowerment. Ours works for charity. Ours works to improve the lives of others and their spiritual education. So you have to understand, this is responsibility. This is not about, I want to achieve such and such in my life and I want the spirits to help me. Yes. Now, what I will tell you is, when you are on point with your spirits, and very few people really are, this sometimes because we don't know, maybe sometimes because we don't care. But when you are on point, I have seen it for myself, because I am a skeptic, very, very skeptical. When I come, I don't even have to, they know my mind, they read my mind. Sometimes I don't even have to ask. I'll be like, spirit, I got to figure out how to do this, or I want to do that, and how should I do this? And they answer almost immediately in a lot of cases. However, let's not be fooled. Some things you have to work for. And, I'm tired. I wanted to put up that post, just simply, I'm tired. Because I am. But when you have spiritual responsibilities, it's time to suck it up, buttercup. And no, I'm not going to just give you the names of spirits that work well for a particular purpose. It's like taking a 5-year-old and putting them behind the wheel of a car and telling them to drive. That's not cool. I had to caution somebody about that this morning. They wanted to work with some Kimbanda spirits. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not going to give you the names of Kimbanda spirits all willy-nilly, so you can go on the great Google and get a mixture of truth and lies. Because that's what they are. When you look on Google, even when you look in books, it's a mixture of truth and lies. And it's very purposeful. The person that's writing these things, they may not know it's a mixture of truth and lies. A lot of these people from outside of the culture have initiated, and they have not been told the truth for lots of different reasons. Even Black folks. Y'all got to understand, you all can't just get with any priest or priestess, because they are preserving their culture. And they may just be taking your money. Okay? They're not going to give you the keys to the kingdom. Even if you have an honest and true priest or priestess working with you, you're going to get what you need when you need it. Because some folks don't need all the keys to the castle. Okay? So it's very purposely done. So understand, this is not the spirit of the month club. Okay? There are voodoo spirits I'll ask Mambo about, and she'll be like, oh, no, baby. No. We're not going to talk about them right now. So if you work with man, that's the thing, because we all have a metet. We all have a spirit of our head. We all have ancestors. We all have Gede. That's why I tell people, start with your ancestors. Stop all of the foolishness. I did not get my altars to floss, okay? I got my altars under the direction of my first mambo, and she was pretty on point with the spirits that primarily walked with me. But that still didn't mean that when I got to somebody who was willing and had access to the real culture, because the first mambo I had didn't have access to the real culture because she didn't grow up in it. So, some of the stuff, and then the region in which I initiated in is completely different, and that may also be some of those things. But like, I'll show and I'll ask my current mambo, this is what I learned when such and such. Is this true? Is that true? And I learned how many half-truths I actually received. Lots of them. And they may have been for a good reason, or that may have been just because that person didn't know. When we were in Haiti, we are referred to as Blanco, white, or means really foreigner. I don't care how dark you are as an American. I remember one of my darker skinned siblings was like, they see me as, I'm like, yeah, sorry, and that's the last thing really you want to experience in Creole society. You don't want to be seen as an outsider when you feel this deep connection. But what y'all need to understand is you are. Get over it and respect it. Respect the fact that even though we are, me in my case, 3/4 Black African, and then a mixture of a bunch of other stuff, that we're still outsiders to these traditions. Okay? And you will be seen as an outsider, and you should behave as such. Okay? And, people are like, I'm seeing people that want to work with me and stuff. Well, I'm going to add the 3 hoodoo classes. People always are asking questions, but they don't want to take the classes, or they don't have any money. And as I said at the Daughters of the Moon, if you are a broke witch, there's a problem. Now, understand this. Witchcraft is not going to make you rich. If witchcraft could immediately, or hoodoo, give me every correct lottery number. Oh, that reminds me. I'm playing those games tonight. Y'all see that shit? You see those jackpots? Yeah, I don't normally play, but my mom will give me some numbers, and I'm going to go play those bad fellas on both of those games. And if I win, and this is a testimony, my mama ain't never have to worry about any of the things that she's trying to establish. Because I'm going to be there, and I'm going to put that money in. But guess what? If I never, ever, ever win the lottery, my money's still going to Haiti. Okay? So that's the type of commitment that you're going to have to make. It's not not going to come to you automatically. It's not going to come overnight. If you have no self-confidence, this work is not for you. Do whatever healing in that aspect of self that you need to do first. Because your spells, above any tool, above any root, oil, formulation, candle, anything that you're using is driven by your intent. That's the whole reason for a wand. Remember when your grandmama used to tell you it was rude to point? It's because you were putting your intentions on someone else. What you intend, what you have to say, what you believe when you point at someone. So we follow a lot of traditions about what's polite, as well as like sweeping people's feet. Don't sweep people's feet unless you want them to go. And have no concept of why we follow these quote-unquote superstitions. I don't have any words for Black folks in the church that's still hooping and hollering and dancing around and speaking a language that no one can translate. Because you can't sit up here and talk to me about getting happy in the Holy Spirit when you don't know the basics of spirit possession, and you don't even know the spirit that is coming down and in the room. So you have to understand, please please. I'm honestly, y'all, if I have, if you're in my customer group or something like that, I'm gonna respond to people that ask me, how do I find? Rather than, can you tell me? I'm only going to respond to people who are interested in doing the work, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to behoove you to be your own scholar, to research and have questions and have input, especially at my house when we have lessons and stuff like that. Know something. And if it's wrong, an elder can correct that. But please, I'm sorry, y'all. They say there's no such thing as a stupid question. Yes, there is. Because for as long as it took you to type that in to my inbox or a comment on my page, you could have Googled it. Now, remember, keep in mind that Google is a mixture of truth and lies. Anything on the internet is. You never know when you're getting solid information. But it's a place to start. If you got questions, ask those questions and do the research before you even come to someone you may consider to be an authority or an elder. And there's another reason for that, because you can get all fucked up with the wrong person giving you the wrong information, whether it's on the internet or if it's a physical human being or if it's or a book. Okay? Books, sometimes they're good, sometimes they ain't. People should have bibliographies. Where'd you get your information from? Okay? But, I just wanted to touch on that because I get a lot of inbox questions and I get angry because I think, okay, are you just being impatient, or as people as stupid as you think they are? And so, in trying not to be condescending to people and trying to understand that people start somewhere. But once again, you got to start. I should not be your start. When you come to me with a question, you should have read several different things and, researched for yourself, because the reality of the matter is, especially like dream interpretation and things like that, that's unique to you. Well, how I know about your dream? Why don't you find out what different things and dreams mean, and then maybe we can come together and see what your insights are. If I have time for that, but I get paid to do that. Why? Because time is money. And I don't care. You cannot be, I thought somebody said, you cannot be an ethical consumer in a capitalistic society. I still got bills to pay, lights to turn on, supplies to purchase, mouths to feed. You got damn animals trying to take residence in my house that really should be outside. I got enough goddamn dependents. So to sit up and spend the time in my day when I'm making money, giving you something for free, that don't work. Giving somebody something for free never works. That's why you are never allowed to, loan somebody an initiation. They got to work for it. You shouldn't borrow money for your initiation. You should earn it and save. Why? Because that will be transformative to your finances. When you learn that if I got money for initiation and you put a little bit away every week towards that, you learn how to save. You learn how to save so you have some money in your pocket. You learn how to save so the Ile or associate or house has money in their pockets. Okay? But, right, that's right. You always should have your own diviner. It's kind of, in a way, and often, and that's why it's really important for magical people who practice psychological therapy and clinical counseling to be diviners as well. Okay? Because you always want a specialist. You always want a diviner. It's kind of like your spiritual doctor, but you want to come in with some knowledge. When I'm going to start interviewing for blackpsychics.com. Probably going to drop the hammer on that setup fee this week. That ain't cheap. It's going to be 1-800 number. They don't have video capabilities right now. I wish they did, but it will be voice. And, when you're reading for a tarot reader, you better be on point. So when we interview you And if you sit down and immediately just go into the reading, you haven't cleared the space, you haven't called on spirit to assist you, things like that are very, very important. I always ask my clients what deities they worship, if they have any prayers that they would like to say to invite that deity in the room, and nobody does that. Not a single client that I have, I'm like, what's something that you do when you talk to your spirits, when you want to invite them into your space? So I end up usually praying to the universe or doing a very awkward prayer to a deity I don't know, asking that they help this person. But that deity could be like, I don't know them, new number, who this? Not give me anything. So often I just appeal to their ancestors and their higher being. But you should be asking somebody, because this information don't come through me. I am the medium. I am the channel. I am the messenger. I am not the almighty Oz. I talked to this one girl, she's an extremely young girl, a few years ago, and I asked her, well, who's your deity? And she says, Kali. And I'm like, well, what's her mantra? You can't be saying that these are your deities and you don't even know how to call on them. So I'm going to wrap this up because I got to get back to work. I love you all dearly, but some of y'all working my goddamn nerves. So some of the things that we're going to do is I'm going to be introducing a new line of t-shirts pretty soon. Some that are created by another spiritual worker who I love. I'm going to also be producing some new ones of my own. I'm getting a 3D printer on Thanksgiving. My friend Melissa and her husband are hooking it up and setting it up for me now. So I'm going to be able to make miniature altar items and things like that in case you guys have doll houses or you want to make a miniature altar. But 3D printing is very, and from what I've understand, pretty difficult to wrap my mind around and learn. We are going to be doing the virtual 201. November 1st is the last day for payment for that class. We're full up as far as the in-person 201 that starts in November, but we will be launching the virtual 201 in November. And then people will have a couple weeks to send us a week to send us their list of what they're doing, of what their herbs and roots and oils and things are. And then we will send them out their packages and reconvene the weekend of the 8th and 9th of December for 8-hour sessions both days. If we get done ahead of time, that's wonderful. Maybe I'll take them on some virtual shopping tours or something like that. But this is the first time we're launching it, so we're going to have to see how that works. I'm trying to think of anything else we got going on. I'm really trying to not launch anything new, although I did buy myself a really cool microphone. I had to send one back a few months ago because it needed a condenser and all this other stuff, but I found a really cool one for a really cool price. So I'm going to start a podcast again, and we're going to have guests, and we're going to pre-record it so that maybe I'll knock out a couple podcasts in a week and then stagger them, and we're going to find a platform for that. So I'm thinking that my oldest daughter will be my announcer, co-star. We'll see what happens. She seemed pretty hyped, but you know how you introduce stuff to kids and then they realize, oh, we got to do this on the regular now. So yes, and I would love to have you take one of my classes, Nicole. I think that you probably will add to class. You know a lot. I don't think that, and I'm going to inbox you. I don't think that I'll be able to teach you anything new, but definitely I'd be honored if you would come. But I got to get time to do that, which means I got to get off of here and I got to get back to work. So we're going to keep working on orders. But remember, always 5 to 10 business days is 2 weeks. We make everything to order. We don't just make stuff and have it sitting up. I use little jars for my formulations. Why? Because I want them to be as fresh as possible when I make my product. Which one is this one? Addlebrain Confusion. This is really wonderful with scot-free if you're going to court and you need to confuse your enemy. So, blessings, many blessings. Aye, Bobo. I want you all to have a wonderful week, but I want you to understand that while this work and this practice being in an ATR, even being a witch or a member of the occult, is freeing. It is a connection with nature. It's an understanding of things that you've never connected before. But it's work. It's called root work for a reason. These things are not instant. And so it is very disheartening to me when I get a student who is an absolute newbie, and then they take my class, and then the next week they go into business. I worked for 2 years at my mentors, almost sometimes 5, 6, 7 days a week, learning the basis of magic before I went into business. And I was encouraged from them by the very beginning. So sometimes I feel like I was tossed out there as a diviner really soon, but I auditioned for them. I read for them, and they were like, oh my God, we're putting you on the site. So that's about it. I love you all. Love, peace, Afro Greece. Stay black, and we'll talk to you soon.